This time we have to make space for a big boy, and we can see that by the size of the box it comes in. It is a model of the Caterpillar 995 wheel loader, and it's Diecast Masters model 85716, and there's only one of them in this big box. And it says that the box weighs 6.24 kilograms.
Let's weigh it up.
Well, I think we'll just do a little check on that. So the box goes onto the weighbridge and it comes in at 13 pounds and 14 ounces, which is just about 6.29 kilograms. Well, that's near enough, so let's cut the tape and open the box to see what's inside. And what we have is another box. And again, the box tells us what's inside. So let's open the box and see what's inside. Well, what we have as a third layer of packaging are some expanded polystyrene trays. And we have to remove those to get to the next layer of packaging. These trays are a very tight fit, but when we get them off, we're left with the usual Diecast Masters tin. And compared to usual models, it's a big tin. There's a nice photo of the real machine on the lid, and it's a big mining wheel loader. And there's another picture on the side of the tin. Let's turn the tin around and see what's on the back. And as usual, there's information about the real wheel loader. And its operating weight is nearly 300 tons. Let's open the tin and see what's inside. Actually, that lid is really tough to remove. But you don't have to worry because we do the hard work at our end. And we can see that there's another layer of packaging. And when we remove that, there's another layer of packaging. So there's no question that this model is very well protected. And there's still one more plastic former to remove, and there's the model sitting in the bottom of the tin. With the last packaging removed, the giant hand cranes can carefully lift the model out. And one thing to note is that there's no assembly to do because this model is complete out of the tin.
Let's weigh it up again.
We lowered a 995 onto the weighbridge and it comes in at about 5 pounds 3 ounces, and that is 2.34 kilograms. Just a reminder that you can see a lot more about models on the Cranes Etc. website, and the link to it is in the video description below. Also, if you want to know where you can buy scale models, then you can click on links on the website, including those in the shopping mall. And listed here are dealers that sell models in countries across the world. Starting underneath, and there's a plastic base plate at the rear. And in fact, much of this model is similar to the previous 994K version by Diecast Masters. There are some screw heads visible, and there is a drive shaft to the front axle, but much of the detailing is fairly simple. The model does of course have very large tyres. At the back there's a large radiator grille which is a plastic part, and it has the modern up-to-date decoration. A plus point on the model is that nearly all of the handrails are metal. And a small enhancement on this version of the model is the addition of small graphics. The access stair is a fully plastic part, but other details such as grab rails are in metal. The big tyres look impressive, but it would have been a nice detail to have some tyre branding. And a metal ladder runs up to the cab. The pivot point is modelled for functionality, and there are no hydraulic lines crossing. But some tiny graphics do add to the look. There are textured walkway surfaces outside the cab, and various equipment is modelled on top, and the huge exhausts have holes. And as you can see in red, there is some fire suppression equipment modelled. The cab has an operator inside, and unusually for Diecast Masters, the operator's not removable. There are various beacon lights on the roof, a windscreen wiper at the front, and a plastic mirror. There are also mirrors on the outer handrails. Let's just check out the silver surface, and as you can see it's a little bit fuzzy rather than sharp and mirror-like. Moving on to the massive loader arms, and the hydraulic rams have soft hoses running to them, and there are numerous small graphics printed on the loader arms. The bucket is different from the one on the previous 994K model, and it's of suitably heavy construction. There are a couple of rubber shock absorbers, and there is some nice detailing inside the bucket, including the teeth. Let's begin with a size comparison, and here it compares to a 906 electric wheel loader. In fact, the 995 is so big it easily carries the 906 in its bucket. But that might not be an efficient way to transport it. A plus point is that each of the wheels spins independently, and the rear axle also has significant float. The steering at the pivot point is smooth and precise, and it seems to achieve a good angle. Out into the cranes etc. mine, and the model rolls very smoothly, and that's because it's a heavy model. Also very good is the steering, so let's just set it and see how it rolls. And the fact that the wheels are separate on their axles makes it turn much more smoothly. So you can set the model with an interesting pose. And we can also check out the floating rear axle. As you can see, there's plenty of movement on it, and we can quickly try the hard rock test, and all wheels remain grounded. Moving on to the big bucket, and this model does have an improved carry angle compared to the previous 994K. The hydraulic rams for the loader arm are very stiff, so there's no problem holding a pose wherever you want to set it. And as you can see, the height of lift is very good. And also very good is the tipping angle. So overall, the loader arm performs very well. One ladder has a moving bottom section, but you can't clip it up. But the main access functionality is on the rear stair. And as you can see, it folds down pretty well. However, this is an all plastic part, and its softness doesn't match the quality of the rest of the model. This Caterpillar 995 is a relatively modest upgrade from the previous 994K model. That came out some 8 years ago in 2017, and it would have been nice to see a few more improvements. It is a very large model, which is also very much fully priced, and overall it looks very impressive with some very good functionality. All things considered, it's rated as very good.